So let's look at some practicalities now. So basically,
Okay.
my understanding of health, healing on a physical level, the obviously the mind body connection, the emotions affect everything in our body, every single cell, whatever we think, whatever we feel, and at the same time, what causes the dis-ease, the feelings of dis-ease in the body is, if it's not an injury, it's build-up of toxins and it's energy blockages. And the thing is, even with injuries, that those two happen. With an injury, toxins start to build up in that area, and energy blockages happen. So when we start to get rid of the toxins, eliminate the toxins, detoxify, cleanse the system, and at the same time align the body. I don't need to talk to you about alignment, and but basically align everything, get the energy system moving, take away those blockages. Then the body starts to operate on a higher level, and to do that, we need to put in the nutrition, getting especially the minerals. One of the biggest health issues in the world is people are depleted of minerals, and so we need to get
Yes.
as much minerals into the system as possible. The way we do that is mainly through the fruits and vegetables, and we're going to get the highest mineral content, leafy greens, etc. And then we also need to open up the channels of elimination. So not only are we taking the nutrients in, but at the same time, we're able to eliminate the toxins out of the body through the through the bladder, through urination, through the bowels, and through respiration and through perspiration, and also through earthing as well, because in this day and age we have the electromagnetic chaos in our systems from using things like this, the laptops, where we're receiving it from
Hmm.
that, using mobile phones, being around electrical equipment, um, being around X-ray machines and things, or different medical equipment that you might be around, and just daily living. We're surrounded by electrical chaos, which comes into our system, bounces around like a pinball, creating free radicals in the system. And then the way to get that out is to literally connect with the earth, physically, and that's how we get that out, through either being in water, in the sea, in a lake, or being barefoot on the grass. Um, though that will take out that sort of electrical chaos. So that's the important thing to do every day, and then also making sure respiration, that we're breathing correctly, which is key, and doing proper breathing exercises, getting the toxins out that way, bringing the oxygen in, which is the number one nutrient we need in the body, is the oxygen, and then through the getting a sweat on every day, through perspiration, getting it out through the skin, getting those toxins out through the
Yes.
skin, and then with the bowels, making sure we're regular, at least a few times a day, cleaning out the bowels, cleaning out the intestines, and then making sure we're hydrated. So we're urinating a number of times a day, between 10 and 20 times a day, and we're basically peeing clear as well. So
Hmm.
in a nutshell, that's really what we need to do. And then of course there is the mind body connection, our thought patterns, our beliefs, our values. They're all going to have an effect on that as well. What we're thinking, what we're feeling, is going to have an effect on our body. So that's it in a nutshell, especially for anyone watching as well, any viewers. Um,
And it's
so
interesting just to note, when you're saying about the elimination with the bowels, um, you're going 2 and 3 times. You're talking about 2 and 3 times a day. Uh, Currently, so that people are aware of the ramifications of the lifestyle I've been describing, I go 2 or 3 times a week.
okay,
Yeah,
so that's something that really needs to change.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
I've also instinctually just gotten rid of the X-ray machine in my office
Mhm.
today. It's like I'm changing. One thing I want for people to know is there's nothing wrong with making radical change. It can be scary, but it can be liberating and very exciting. And I am literally turning 20 years on its head. And the very same way that 20 years began with a massive impact car accident where I had a near-death experience and came back, and it started me down this wonderful path, that path has now come to a crossroads where it's time to take another turn. I am now once again creating great change in my life, and I've just gotten rid of everything that's not working for me. What you just described, there is always, even though my x-ray machine is always serviced, always running immaculately, in the back of my head, I hated the idea of being in the room where x-rays had been shot every single day. That bugged me, and the thought process and the fact that bugged me was going to do far more harm to me than the actual x-ray itself, but yet there it was. Mm-hmm. And so I've recognized that, and I've gotten rid of it. It's gone. You can do these things. You can, I'm not going to go to jail because I chose not to have an x-ray unit anymore. I'm not going to go to jail because I've decided not to deal with the major stresses of the financial world that I've been playing in for many years now. I don't want that lifestyle anymore. My life is simplifying, and that's where I want to be. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a scary thought for people, to jump off the wheel, to duck out of the rat race, and it's because it's different. Yeah. But I wanted to show through these exercises with you that, hey, I got caught up in it just like everybody else could, just because you know doesn't make you immune. So, ready to rock?
Yes, and it is the difference between knowing what to do and then doing what we know as well. And that's what we're going to put into action in these next however long it takes, ongoing.
That's great, because I think it's really key that you and I both get across to people through, my willingness to share this journey with people and wanting them to see the insides and the dirty little secrets, that you can have a perception. You can know with all of your heart that going to the gym or working out or doing yoga or doing fitness or eating fruit and vegetable are good for you. You can know this. Until you own this perception, that's all it is a perception. And I am saying to you, I am saying to the public, I am saying that on the physical realm, I know, I teach these concepts. I am not implementing them to the best of my ability in my life. So it's time to do, I'm doing a check on myself. It's all about checks and balances. And I haven't always been this way. There have been times when I've been extraordinarily good with my balance, with my physical exercise and all. I'm just at a point in my life where I've just finished a quite difficult cycle of, say, 7 to 10 years, where I'm now stepping up and going, I lost sight of myself somewhere in there, and I need to get that back. Mm-hmm. There's no harm in that. There's nothing shameful about that. It's just simply saying, I lost track of where I was, and I need to get back on track.
Right. And with that understanding of, sometimes we know what to do, but we don't do what we know, and the reason that we maybe don't do it, and we can scratch our head and wonder, well, I know what to do, but I'm not doing it. Why am I not doing it? And somewhere along the line, we've prioritized other things in our life to be more important, and so whatever's most important in our life, we tend to do those things. And I'm just putting this out there, possibly with you having your children within that past decade, suddenly they have become something very, very high, if not the highest. Obviously, that's probably the highest thing on your values, which you put your energy into, and then something like your own physical health is being pushed down your value list to be less of a priority. Would that make sense?
when actually it should be the top priority, because I want to be there and spending time with them, and I don't want them to come home and watching me lay there. And I think probably out of fear of them seeing that, I didn't take any little respites or little rest periods in between because I wanted them to see me as invincible. I am a single mother. I did this by myself. Nobody helped me. I want you to know that you've got woman power. You can do this, girls. And what I did was I just sold myself right out of my own life here, and it's time to step up and go, it's okay, it's okay to take a rest. It's okay to step out for a little while. It's okay to take a day off. It's all right. I would tell them to do it. I would let them take a day off school sometimes if they just didn't feel like they were in that space where they could be there. I don't do it often, but I do it sometimes so that they know that, guys, it's okay just to step out.
Yeah.
Step out every now and again. Yet I wasn't doing that myself. And I think a whole lot of the idea of the midlife crisis for people is that they do come out of that decade of the 30s where they've started their families, they've built their careers, they've gone through that burnout phase where it's been go, 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 and then they step back and suddenly go, what's it all for? What's it all about? Because what they're recognizing is, where am I in all of this? I've done this, 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 and this, yet I don't feel well enough to enjoy it. And for some people that can be emotional, for some people that can be physical, for some people it can be a spiritual crisis. For me, it's definitely been at the sacrifice of my physical health.
Right. And what's the understanding that you're coming to now?
Time to change. And I'll change now, and I might need to tweak and change again in 10 years' time. I might need to tweak and change again in 5 years' time.
Right.
If you'd look back 10 years from now, I wouldn't need to tweak this at all. I was in top physical condition. And guess what? I still had the same injuries. I had still had the same car accidents. I had still come from the same background, yet my focal point was on my physical health. I seemed to switch gears out of that and began to develop emotionally, develop spiritually, become a teacher. And I went so far into that field that I left my physical body behind. And anyone who knows anything about growth and evolution knows that they come as a package. You can't leave one behind. You can't move one aspect forward and neglect the others. And I'm just stepping forward and going, that's exactly what I did. And I'm ready to go back and retrieve myself. There's these lots of buzzwords and catchphrases within the spiritual world about retrieving pieces of your spirit and retrieving pieces of your soul that you left behind. I don't have any issue with that. I left my body behind. This great, wonderful body that's been battered and bruised and beaten up and magnificent and fit and well. It has been everything for me. It has provided everything to me. It's been the vehicle with which I have experienced this life, and it needs my attention now. And that's exactly what I intend to do.
Okay. So let's look at some practicalities now, as we were going to say. Basically a plan, but we're going to take small steps. I don't want to overwhelm you with anything, because it's about taking it easy now, right? It's about healing, it's about resting, and it's about nurturing yourself. So let's make it fairly bit by bit. How does that sound? Yeah.
Perfect.
So what I would recommend to start with is, you have a juicer, you have a blender, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Is to start in the morning with, I would say, a juice first thing in the morning, But I know that juices can take longer to make than a blended drink. A blender, you can whiz up some fruits and some greens pretty quickly. What is your time like in the morning? Do you think you'll have enough time to spend making a juice, or do you just want it to be quick and just make a blended drink?
But well, this is why this is such a great time. I am now far getting my children to school. I have no job.
Okay. Okay.
So, this is the perfect time for me to do this.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
when school finishes and I go home to America for 5 weeks, again, I can get up in the morning and do as I please. So I'm set up. I'm poised for success here.
Okay.
This is probably why I want to do this right now. I want to strike while the iron is hot. I want to utilize the time to my advantage that I have. So, yeah, that is very doable and very realistic. Unless I can stick pancakes or sausage rolls in the blender in the morning, I'm going to have to go in and get my fruit and veg. But, and, you know, the one thing I want to is I'd like to get this into my girl's life. It's been my intention for a very long time now. I have one daughter who's quite thin, and I have one daughter who she's very tall, but she would carry more weight, and she looks exactly like I did as a child. And I would like to be able to help her make better choices. Again, not by taking things away from her, but by adding things in for her. And that's part of this plan as well, by example.
Okay, great. So my first recommendation would be a liter of green juice in the morning. Don't have to drink it all in one go, but just in the morning time, a liter of green juice, and then later on in the afternoon, early evening, probably the afternoon, a liter of green smoothie.
Okay, can you give me, what does green juice mean to you?
Right, okay. So in your green juice, you can have a couple of base things are great, which is cucumber and celery. That's that's a good base. And then on top of that, you can add in any like green herbs that you like I'm just thinking of the coriander or rocket. That would be to our spinach. In American language, that's arugula and cilantro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Spinach. Any greens. Romaine lettuce. You can put broccoli in, but I don't tend to juice broccoli so much, and I know it's not agreeing with you right now. If you wanted to make it more sweet, you can put in either apples or carrots, and that can add some sweetness to it. And that's the two.
What's the story with? Sorry, what's the story with apples as far as acidity?
Yeah, well, you're mixing with them with so much greens, so having a few apples in with your greens isn't going to the amount of alkalinity in those greens is going to mix in with the apples, and it will be fine. So just if you want to add some sweetness, a few apples, a few carrots helps in there. Ginger's a good one. Yeah, you can put ginger in.
How do you feel about like spirulina and some of these powdered supplements?
Better than grilled chicken.
Good answer. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Compared to what is is quite often what I'd say. Yeah.
Okay. No, because I'm sure that's a question a lot of people would have, because those would be quite popular. That, as well as the berries, like the goji berries and the what do you call them? a casey or a, how do you say that?
Yeah, acai. Call them
Acai. Yeah.
acai berry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Um,
believe they're all good. Yeah.
okay.
I don't think there's any harm with goji berries or acai berries or spirulina. I think they're all fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Just no
and
grilled chicken.
also courgette. You can juice courgette as well. Um, kale
Hmm.
and around your house you've probably got nettles growing. You've probably got
Yep.
dandelions.
Yep.
So putting some nettles in, some dandelion leaves, you're getting perfect wild organic produce from around your house. And as long as there's no farmers spraying on it, then it's perfect. It's something I do every single morning. First thing I get up, I go outside and I just pick dandelion leaves, pick uh, the nettles, and just take the top heads of the nettles, the first three layers of the leaves. Just pick
Hmm.
those. Start. You don't want to give yourself too big of a cleansing crisis at the beginning, and the nettles, dandelion leaves are quite strong, quite potent. So just start off with a few.
Okay.
Just start off with
Okay.
a few each day, and then you can build that up. But those are great to
Okay.
add in as well. And if you're finding the green juice is just too strong or too bitter or something, just throw in a few apples, a few carrots,
Apples
and
and carrots.
mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
but I think that the base is great with celery and cucumber. That's a great base for your green
Okay.
juice. And then any other leafy greens you want to throw in on top of that, perfect.
Okay.
For the green smoothie, I generally recommend bananas for the base. Um,
Okay.
and I know you're saying you're having trouble with bananas. I wonder, were you allowing them to go to their full ripeness, or were you just eating them when they were uh, yellow, or do you let them go
Hmm.
till they're somewhat brown with some brown spots on them?
Hmm.
Yeah, because if you let them go to their
I
full,
would for a smoothie.
pardon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would let them go brown now for a smoothie. I'll try it again. Because you have to remember the likelihood that it's actually the broccoli or the banana is is slim, and I recognize that. It's the conjunction of what it's being eaten with, or what mental state I'm in when it's being eaten. I think has much more to do with it than the actual banana or broccoli.
Right, and there's a couple of other
For color.
factors, a couple of other things that could be be factored in as well. Could also be what you're combining them with.
Uh huh.
Um, if I'm taking any fruit or any green drink or anything, I make sure I take it on an empty stomach. Um,
Hmm.
you don't want to be taking it after a heavy meal or a cooked meal or anything like that. So what you're
Okay.
combining them with is important. Um, Also, not combining fats with like fruits. So
Hmm.
and I wouldn't put an avocado in with the bananas into the blender,
Hmm.
because there's the fats and the sugars, they don't combine very well together.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, can I do avocado in my green juice?
if you're having you can, yes, but then if you're just having avocado and then other greens and then maybe something like blueberries or something that's low glycemic index sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm But generally, I would have avocado on a salad in the evening time, and then in the smoothie, have some fruits. Bananas, blueberries, kale, spinach, that sort of thing.
Okay.
hmm
So you are eating a salad in the evening time.
that's yeah. If you can, that would be great.
Are we saying that the green juice is my breakfast,
Yes, the
the green
smoothie.
smoothie is my lunch,
hmm
and the salad is my dinner?
Yes, and at the same time, I'm not saying that that's the only thing that you eat,
Yeah.
because you don't want to starve yourself. You want to make sure you're still having enough calories that you're, feeling good and you're able to have enough energy and everything. So
Right.
at this point, I'm not saying take the other things out and only eat this. I'm just saying add these things in. Have these three things every day. Have yourself a
Okay.
liter of green juice. Have yourself a liter of green smoothie. Have yourself a salad in the evening, and then also aim to drink 2 liters of water a day as well.
Right. Now, for people who are listening who might go, well, I'm at work in the
hmm
middle of the day. How am I going to get a smoothie? What do you recommend?
I recommend making it at home before you go to work and bringing it
Mhm.
with you in jars. And if you have a fridge at work, putting it in the fridge, or having a little cooler bag that you can basically have those ice packs in the sides of it, and have that with you at work, so you can just take it out and drink it from there. Or
Okay.
sometimes I use the polycarbonate bottles with the wide tops as well, if I don't want to use
Yeah.
something glass.
Okay. And now you said banana as your base for the green smoothie. What else? What else are we putting in that?
Any sort of berries like blueberries, raspberries,
Okay.
um, then some greens such as, again, spinach or kale, or some you can put some herbs in there as well, like rocket coriander,
Okay.
and then also if you have some greens, you can again pick some greens from the garden, some dandelion leaves, throw them in, some nettles, throw them in as well, but not too many. If it's a blended drink, not too many.
Okay.
Yeah, because
And what about in the smoothie putting oats? Like oat flakes.
oat flakes.
Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
I just say it wouldn't be necessary. It wouldn't be necessary.
Okay.
If you want to have your like your oatmeal, have that
Mhm.
after you've drank your green juice in the morning, then have your
Uh huh.
oatmeal.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't have my oatmeal and then drink my green juice. When you
Mhm.
get up in the morning, you make your green juice, drink your green juice, then sit down, have your oatmeal. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what's the perfect salad for you?
Perfect salad. Some romaine lettuce maybe, uh, tomatoes, um, then some avocado maybe as well in there, and then if you want, maybe sprinkle a couple of nuts over there, like walnuts or something, and
Seeds.
pardon?
Seeds are seeds okay? Pumpkin seeds.
Yeah, you can put a few seeds,
Um.
few seeds. I wouldn't go too heavy on the nuts and seeds. Just a few. At this stage want to keep it quite low fat, to help the body to detox. Will detox quicker and cleanse quicker, if you keep it low
Okay.
fat.
And can you use balsamic vinegar or anything as a dressing?
You
It
can.
has to be dry.
What would be a as you could have a sweet dressing. You could have some orange juice, even squeeze an orange and then have that over it. Or sometimes I chop up some dates and put dates over it, or blend some dates with water and put that over it as well.
Okay.
Or yeah,
Great.
but sure, whatever. It's better to eat the salad than not eat the salad. If you want to put on some balsamic vinegar and things like that, sure, of course. And then
No grilled chicken.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying add in these things,
I know.
and whatever you're gonna eat in the evening. If you've had your smoothie in the afternoon, you've had your salad, and you want to eat something else, sure, some a rice dish, a stir fry or something is fine.
Okay.
hmm
Super.
How does that sound?
Great.
Okay. And I just to rewind back a little bit, two factors saying when we're eating that can cause problems is, I said one of the things was the um, food combination. The other thing is simply chewing the food, pre-digesting the food before it's swallowed. Just something that creates perfect digestion. If it's already pre-digested before we even swallow it, gives the digestive system a total break, and it just allows it to assimilate, absorb. You know, it's that's a great thing to do. That's a really good gift we can give our body, is just to chew our food until it's completely pureed before we even swallow it. And that's
And as Eastern philosophy says, digestion begins with the eyes. Looking at your food, creating that space, and for me, that's a huge issue. As I said to you, like so many people who will hear this, I have 2 small kids, and every mealtime is chaos.
mm-hmm.
And the idea, I always end up making the comment, it's no wonder I have digestion, because I'm getting up and down, getting something for them. Somebody forgot a napkin, somebody forgot their drink, somebody forgot this, and it's this constant up and down. There's no kind of, I've gotten now to where I feed them first,
Mm-hmm.
and then I send them off on their way to do something else. I will sit with them while they eat, but I'll actually eat after, which is a good suggestion to people if they are finding that they're in angst with small children around and they're not eating and they're in that kind of tense state. That's part of the digestive process.
Mm-hmm.
And so to recognize that you can change that by sitting and being present with your family while you're eating. But if you know you're going to end up playing scullery maid, then do that while they're eating, and then you sit down afterwards and eat and allow that food to go through. I think that's something I need to work on.
Right.
But if you don't have kids in your house, that's not an experience that you'd be accustomed to. But anyone who does have small kids knows that mealtime definitely does not center on you and your good, healthy digestion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I've observed it, yes.
Yeah.
And just one final thing I'd say this evening, because I can tell you getting tired now.
My neck, yeah.
Yeah, is.
But I'm still smiling, Matthew.
I know, you're so good at that. Is the high possibility of some cleansing crisis, of whenever the toxins start to be pushed out through the body. Can be some cleansing crisis, feeling of nausea, possible diarrhea, possible headaches, more achy joints, these sort of things.
See if you can guess why I chose now
Yeah.
to do this.
Yeah.
I already have the headache. Diarrhea would be a blessing. The achy joints couldn't get any achier. And for giving up something like smoking the odd cigarette, if you're worried about putting on weight, or if you're worried about the effect it's going to have on you in that respect, I'm changing my diet at the same time. So there is, for anybody who's watching this who goes, oh, I don't want to go through the healing crisis, recognize that the crisis that you're already in is far worse than anything you're going to go through in the healing crisis.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's it. It's a very small price to pay, and whenever I experience detox symptoms, healing crisis, I just say thank you, because I know it's toxins leaving my body, and so
Exactly.
just to be appreciative of that.
I even bought a brand new purple tongue scraper for the occasion.
Okay. Yeah, possible bad breath, yeah, body odor, possible, yes. Okay.
Great.
So for our viewers, you're welcome to take up the challenge, if you will. or take up the journey and be with us on this journey.
Absolutely. I think it would be fun. The more the merrier.
um, any final thoughts before we finish up, Mary Helen, and then we'll speak again soon.
Just my absolute gratitude for your willingness to do this with me and your understanding. That at any stage in the process of life, we can lose sight of ourselves, and there's no judgment here. You're just taking on board the fact that I'm asking for help, and you are graciously obliging that, and that is most appreciated. So I really look forward to this. I think it'll be fun. I will start tomorrow, and you have my word on that. And I also give you my word that I'll be honest about what's happening. If I fall off the wagon, I'm going to tell you all about the fall.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have more fun telling you about how I got back on the wagon. So I think, you have my word that there's an open line of communication. I'm not benefiting anybody by trying to hide anything here, and certainly not myself. And I really look forward to doing this. And I can't thank you enough.
Okay. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you contacting me and asking me to help out. That's coming from yourself. That's really amazing. So thank you. I don't know what the word is. I really appreciate it, just. And one last thing before we finish up is, for this next week, I wouldn't say any major exercise, but to help the process of elimination, getting the circulation around the body, getting the lymphatic system moving. Some sort of light exercise like rebounding. If you have a mini trampette, a mini rebounder, do you have one?
I'm looking at it now. Yep, it's right there. And my only concern is that
your shoulder. Yeah.
I can't handle any kind of jostling at the moment. So
right.
I until I'd say this settles down, the inflammation settles down a bit.
Yeah.
Have to do a little bit more moderate, kind of maybe work on my breathing technique,
mm-hmm.
and more stationary type of exercising from the inside. If
right. And
okay.
Walking, how are you with walking?
It's because my arm hangs down, I have to hold my arm into the chest.
Okay.
Isn't a great posture for walking.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll just kind of take it as I can. I'm fairly up on what what I will be able to do, and as soon as I'm able to do those things, I'm literally looking at my rebounder right now, and all prepared to sync the hemispheres. But I'll do that when it's not going to create any more pressure on the shoulder. So what I'll be doing now more is planning, I think, for maybe in the coming weeks. Yes. And then focus on my breathing exercises for now.
Okay, awesome.
Right.
So thank you very much, and
thank you.
Keep a food diary as well.
Okay.
If you're able to write everything down that
yep.
you consume, and then it's just brings it more into your own consciousness what you're putting in, and then you can see it, and then if you're able to also send that to me, that would be great.
Yeah, great. I'll go in and get my ingredients in the morning,
mm-hmm.
and I'll start for the weekend.